right in front of you, but I'll go straight into my remarks. Now, like you have been told that we are here to pay a courtesy call on the spokesperson, who is also our party spokesperson. Now, this is to show the country that we are trying to interface with the ministry and show our country what the government is doing in terms of communicating our life-changing policies, which have not only transformed the communities today, but have also empowered all citizens to participate in community development through the CDF. Mr. Minister, as your party, the mighty ruling UPND, we urge you to continue communicating the results and benefits of our life-changing policies. For example, we have over 2.2 million that have gone back to school, and now we are told that our government is targeting 5 million to include on the 2.3 million. Those are policies that have yielded results that nobody can. Instead, with us, the tag of our governance style is service above self. So we urge you to continue and want to say we are proud of you. We are proud of what you are doing. I think we have some time ahead of us, very little time ahead of us to continue communicating our policies to the people of Zambia so that they are aware about our policies, because if they are aware about our policies, then they will be able to take part and participate in community development, which our government wants. On that note, I want to end my remarks and say thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Director. So now the Minister is going to respond. Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, and good afternoon, dear countrymen and women and youth. And thank you, Media Director for the UPND, and would like to welcome you to your ministry here, the Ministry of Information, on this very important occasion where you have come to pay a courtesy call at this ministry, but also, more importantly, that you have come here so that we can see how to blend the operations of the UPND media team and also that of the Ministry of Information and Media. Because at the end of the day, yes, President HH has been very categorical and clear on this one, that ours is government and party to run distinctly, so that party affairs should not be at the expense of government. And this has worked very well. But there is one intersection that the manifesto that government is implementing is the manifesto of UPND. And therefore, in taking an audit trail so that we begin now to explain to the people ahead of the 2026 presidential and general elections what we have done as UPND, as a party, and what we have done is UPND in government, it is very important and imperative that we work together, the UPND media team, and also this ministry, because we are driving one common agenda under the able leadership and visionary leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. We have one shared goal: to improve the livelihoods of our citizens by improving the governance of our country in terms of the restoration and now full implementation to the latter of the rule of law, and also, and more importantly, the economic reform agenda of President HH, which now is beginning to yield positive fruits for the country. So we are happy to have you here. And I look forward to these exchanges that we are going to have this afternoon. And I hope this should not be the last one. I'd also like to indicate that other stakeholder groups in the governance of our country are welcome. If you have something you want to contribute to enhance the way we communicate government policy and government positions, interventions, you are at liberty to come to this, your office, and share your knowledge so that together we can pull in one direction as a team with one clear intent to make Zambia better than where we found it. So, allow me to use this occasion because of my colleagues from the media who are here, and I know that we are live on a number of platforms such as ZNBC, Prime TV, and various social media platforms, to take occasion just to ventilate or speak about just a few issues which the media might be interested in. Not too long ago, the nation is aware that government, through the central bank, announced change or replacement of our currency note in terms of having new notes. Now, that has been received out there with various views, and it is therefore incumbent upon us to explain, not once, not twice, but more times, so that the citizens can understand what has triggered or necessitated this change of our banknotes. Because out there, a lot of information has been let loose by people holding divergent views. Now today, what we are giving is government position. Government position is that it was necessary, on the advice of experts at the central bank and the financial sector, that we had to perform a change of our banking notes, not the currency itself, but banking notes. The following are some of the reasons why that was important. Number one, to enhance security features of our kwacha. It was a well-established fact that due to rise in technological advancements, even technology to counterfeit the kwacha is improving, and therefore there was an increased incidence of counterfeiting our money to such an extent that by the time it is deemed that this is counterfeit money, it has already gone into circulation. And sometimes those banknotes will remain in circulation, representing a false economic tender or situation. Because when you have money which has been printed from some place, and in Zambia we know which place we normally refer to, Matero. Nothing bad about Matero, but that's what we say. Is Honorable Sampa's constituency. When money has been printed in Matero or any other such place and introduced into the economy using the back door, you are going to run a false economy. You are now going to have more money in circulation which is not tied to the productivity of the economy. And because we don't want to run an economy like the one we saw once upon a time, it was important to do this change so that the security features of our banking notes are improved, so that those whose enterprise and business is to counterfeit our money, we make it difficult for them. That was a very economically based rationale. That's reason number one. Reason number 2, there was a concern from members of the public about the longevity of those banking notes in terms of the texture and its lifespan. Today, if you look at a 5 kwacha and 2 kwacha especially, most of those denominations, they waste easily, meaning they deteriorate or become, they lose the proper, texture, such that many of our citizens lose value through those banknotes that have gone bad, because sometimes you want to get a 2 kwacha change. You are driving from Mpulungu, then you find some people are selling mushroom, this white one, which we all like, and then the change is 2 kwacha or 4 kwacha or 5 kwacha. You look at the banking notes, then you just say, it's okay. That is value which your government is concerned that citizens should not lose it. And that is why you have seen now the new banking notes. The lower denominations will go up to 50. There will be an introduction of a 5 kwacha. I think it is it's not in paper form. It will be in coin form, and 2 kwacha in coin form, so that we enhance durability, because these smaller banking notes are the ones that are in activity on a day-to-day business transactions in our markets, where you go to buy rape for 1 kwacha or 2 kwacha. You have a 5 kwacha, you need 3 kwacha change. So those banking notes now have been made to be in coin form because of the activity of engagement on a day-to-day in markets. They easily waste, so they have to be coins so that they live almost forever. That was the logic for changing the banking notes. Not speculative arguments that are coming from some corners whose interest is well known. Third reason, it was deemed that it was important to introduce higher denomination notes, such as 200 kwacha and 500 kwacha, because if one had to carry 10,000 kwacha or 20 in 5 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 10 kwacha, or even 50 kwacha notes, you find that it is bulky. Therefore, that in itself is a security threat to those who are carrying such monies. And the government is alive to what is happening around. The government is alive that those people, for instance, who are doing mobile money have to carry reasonable amounts of money as they knock off to go and deposit in the banks or wherever, and that it is a security risk. And your government is aware that some of those people have been targeted by criminals. So it became imperative, therefore, and incumbent upon this government to take action to promote the portability of carrying that money. So you introduce 200 and 500, so that if you are moving from this office, you are going to wherever you are going, and you have a 10,000 kwacha, but out of 500 kwacha notes, you only be carrying 20 notes, which you can easily put in your pocket without creating security alarm. These are the issues. Now, why have you changed money? Why have you changed? These are the reasons. Don't they make sense? Colleagues from the media, they do. Because government responds to needs of the moment to ensure that the welfare of its citizens is catered. Now, when we talk about that money being handy, we have spoken about the security part of it. But there is also another component, that If you are going to carry 20,000 or 50 kwachas now, it will be a bunch. Now, the more you band money together like that, the easier the money begins to deteriorate. So, have higher denomination notes. Now, when the money deteriorates fast, you remember that we are told that even if your money is torn, your note is torn, you are required to take it to the nearest bank, isn't it? And the bank gives you a new note. Where do you think they find that new note? They give you a new note because they will also get those old notes and hand them over to Bank of Zambia. Then Bank of Zambia will have to cause to be printed a same number of those notes that have wasted to replace, so that the amount of notes and of money in circulation represents the correct economy. So those who are saying it is a cost, there is another cost the government is trying to avoid, of having to reprint money because it has gone bad. These are the reasons. The other reason was to ensure that our colleagues, the differently abled, are able to distinguish the difference between 2 kwacha, 5 kwacha, 10 kwacha, 50 kwacha, 100 kwacha, 200 and 500. Because now the new notes are made different in font, in size. So you are now able to tell. For the colleagues who are differently able, say, oh, now I'm handling a 5 kwacha, now I'm handling a 20 kwacha, now I'm handling a 50 kwacha. We would like to debunk this notion that a higher denomination represents a collapsed economy, because it's not backed by any economic theory or practicality. The currency, which is the value in the banknote, derives from the state of the economy and not the denomination represented on a particular banknote. If you go to Dubai, the dirham is even 1,000 dirham. But is that economy collapsed? It is not the denomination number represented on a banknote that speaks to the currency. The currency is the value in the banknote. That currency derives from the economy. The economic viability, or if I should put it, vitality, lies in the productivity of a country in terms of goods and services that that economy is able to produce in order to generate value. In 2021, when President HH took over, the mines had collapsed. Our giant mines were no longer mining. They were in court. President HH came in and said, no more mining in court. Let's go and mine from the site. Alternative dispute resolution, looking for a win-win situation. Let's begin mining, because mining is our economic spinal cord. The mines are back. Those who are asking, Bali will fix it. What does it mean? He has fixed the mines. That's your answer. Bali has fixed the mines. Today, Mopane, after remobilization, has increased production by 37%, consumption by 22%. 2024, they increased production by 22%. First Quantum by 6%. Shaft 23 reopened after 3 years of being dead. kanshi efe balanda bakoparati uyu eche chikwena alikuwa tomu pashi wa kubusha ife afwakale. Mulongoshi Textiles, they are busy now ripping out old technology machinery, replacing it with modern machinery, and it shall soon open. And when it opens, we know that the farming block of Eastern Province, which produces a lot of cotton, and Western Province are in business. So, I think 2026 will be very nice to campaign, eh? We are on set, so we'll continue and indicate therefore that arguments about the banknotes to represent a deteriorating economy are false. This economy is on the rise. In 2024, copper production moved to 821,000 metric tons. And in 2025, we are in. Copper production is projected to move in 2024. It was at 821,000 metric tons, like I have indicated. In 2025, it is expected to move to 960,000 metric tons. In 2026, copper production is projected to go to 1,090,000 metric tons. And in 2027, copper production is projected to go to, to 1,290,000 metric tons. As I tell you, it tells you that our major forex earner is back in business. And if our major forex earner is back in business, it means the value of the kwacha will soon begin to appreciate as well. So those doomsayers who are saying the economy is going bad, these statistics I'm giving, you can go check them out at the Ministry of Mines and the Ministry of Finance. As you know, my job is to tell the nation the truth, because President HH is a truthful president and leader. And let me also take this opportunity to alert that this government has given tax holidays. I would like to challenge those who have said that the government has given tax holidays to mines to produce which national budget made those pronouncements or exemptions. It's not there. It's just politicking. And we're asking citizens that time for politics is over. We shall come to politics in 2026. For now, let's talk development. And we ask the opposition to hold us accountable on a meticulous system which is credible and not politics forever. We are tired of politics. We want to talk about policy and development. That's what people expect politicians to talk about. That's what matters to their lives. So, with a booming mining sector, therefore, the kwacha will soon become buoyant and bullish and resilient. And this has now been assisted by what we expect this year to be a super bumper harvest of maize, which will allow us to satisfy the local domestic demand of maize and meal meal and other products therefrom, with the surplus being available for export to add on the forex earning streams of our economy. This morning, some caller on Hot FM, Hot Seat where I was, said, when I said the point I've just said no. Na tumfano mbati, when you harvest, mwefo ya mukashitishena kabiri, amataba. Is that what I've said? I've said the surplus. But I want to be very categorical here that with this expected bumper harvest, the Ministry of Finance, through cabinet resolution as directed by the President, monies are being procured to be set aside to ensure we stock enough maize, not for one season, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, because we've learned the hard lessons. So when we talk about a surplus is anything to come after we have satisfied the local national maize demand and we have stocked sufficiently and reasonably enough that should we have another drought, since it is not in the domain of control of government but the climate, we should not be taken by surprise. So when we talk about exportation of a surplus, we must first assure our people that we will have first taken into account all these variables, because it is said once bitten, twice shy. You have a prudent president who cannot allow a situation come back in a similar manner with the same results or consequences upon the people God has given him an opportunity to lead. I think we have spoken more than was necessary on the banknotes, but because we wanted, and it is through you, dear colleagues, the media, that the nation should know the truth, so that purveyors of misinformation and disinformation should not be given room to mislead an innocent citizenry. Let me also now, because I've spoken about the expected super bumper harvest, inform the nation that as government, we are awaiting to be guided by meteorological and hydrological experts on the volumes of water which are expected to transition into our water body reservoirs and the implications on electricity generation, so that at that point we can tell the nation the estimated time frame when load shedding will reduce or come to an end, depending on the volumes of water we shall receive, and also when the alternative power generation installations that are being put in place will come on stream, such as Mamba Collieries, which is now actively building phase 2 to produce another 300 megawatts of power to add to the 300 they are already producing. And this is President HH, when he came in, found that Mamba Collieries were unable to begin phase 2 and discovered that Government Republic of Zambia, through ZESCO, as of August 2021, were owing Mamba Collieries $590 million United States dollars, crippling the efforts of Mamba Collieries to begin phase 2 construction. I can now report to the nation that President HH has made sure that the ZESCO balance sheet has been cleaned out. All those getting paid, ZESCO, out. By elections, ZESCO, fuel and vehicles transporting cadres, out. All that comedy is over. That is why now ZESCO is on firm trajectory and firm on the schedule, paying Mamba Collieries, giving it capacity to begin to produce more power for us to power our economy. And President HH, after mobilizing financing by working with the private sector, you recall a few months ago, did commission the construction of phase 2, Mamba Collieries. That 300 megawatts, when it comes on stream, it is scheduled to come on stream before the end of 2026, will do a serious dent on load shedding if it remains to be the status quo, for which it is likely not to be the case. A number of, solar plants are on stream in terms of construction. Very soon, President HH will be in Zambia to inaugurate, I think it is 100 megawatts, if I have my memory right, 100 megawatt power station, solar station in Chisamba. And only a few weeks ago, he went to commission, through the Vice President, one in Northwestern. Out of his Japan tour, a Japanese company is coming to set up a solar plant in Sesheke. In addition, the Japanese government, out of that trip the president performed, has undertaken to build a new Ruangwa bridge, because that Ruangwa bridge has outlived its lifespan. The new Ruangwa bridge, which will be constructed courtesy and help of the Japanese, is so critical to this economy and to the SADC and COMESA economy, because it is a gateway cross point into the Nakara corridor. These are things that we are able to hear and we see, because HH, when he promises, he delivers. So the point I was making is that load shedding will update the nation soon when it is expected to slow down or come to an end. Cost of living. I think with a good rain season, super bumper harvest, electricity back, we expect the cost of living to begin to slow down in terms of escalation. Because the cost of living is informed by the cost of production and the availability of goods and services. Looking at 2025 with confidence. But we know that as government, our real target, that now all these governmental measures that have been put in place to revitalize and awaken the mines and investments being made in the agricultural sector, the reintroduction of the loan schemes, these measures of government will have their full bearing somewhere in 2025. I mean, somewhere in 2027. By that time, you are able to feel the economy. You are able to see the economy. Because the value in the kwacha is what will tell you that the economy has improved the way it had improved before in 2006. We are getting there, and now even better. Let me also comment, because these issues have just been given by colleagues from the media, that I need to speak on these issues. The Corruption Perception Index ranking shows that the fight against corruption is gaining traction and momentum. And those who were saying the fight against corruption is a hoax, please, they should not keep quiet. Let them continue talking. And they should not start hiding in sittings or elsewhere. President HH means business for this country, and that's why he calls himself a missionary and not a politician. The fight against corruption is none any other sectarian or affiliational concern. It is in national interest. It is in furtherance with and adherence to the rule of law. So moving from position 37 to 39, 2 points, unprecedented in the last 10 years. The last president was 2 years ago, or is it? Yeah, I think so. Again, under the new Dawn administration. Clearly, those who were saying that new Dawn administration is the most corrupt government, I think that they've been taken aback by this development, which Transparency International, International has given, which is a neutral body. Are they still going to? Anyway, they are expected to continue because we know they are just politicking. Deep down, they appreciate that President HH wabonse. Let me now come to quickly a very important issue which I thought would have used this opportunity to clarify. The debt, Zambia's debt situation. Because now we have to explain ourselves to the people where we are, where we were, where we are coming from, where we are going. I want to indicate that the pre-debt restructuring of public debt position of Zambia as of June 2022 was as follows. Central government external debt stood at 13.2 billion United States dollars. Guaranteed external debt stood at 1.5 billion United States dollars. Public, domestic or local debt stood at 12.1 United States dollars. In kwacha terms, 205 billion kwacha, whose sum total therefore is 26.8 billion United States dollars. Now, I'm not an economist myself. I'm a teacher, I'm a policeman, I'm a lawyer, I'm a politician. I'm not an economist. But these numbers already can tell you that as at 2021, Zambia's GDP, in simpler terms, the sum total of the assets of government, the economy, was at about 19.7 billion United States dollars. And you are nursing a debt of this nature. What is the resultant natural consequence? You default. You can't pay because your asset portfolio as an economy is less than what you owe. That is why Zambia defaulted. So when President HH says, when we came in 2021, we found an empty treasury, this is what he is talking about. When you see that people go to get paid at month end, don't think there is money. It could be borrowed money. This is where we were at 2021. And let me make it simple further. To indicate that in terms of debt in relation to GDP, which for the sake of simplicity will say the sum total of goods and services that our economy or country produce and or own. In 2011, the percentage of debt in relation to the entire asset value of the country, which is GDP, was only 21%. In 2014, it moved to 35%. In 2017, it moved to 57%. In 2019, it moved to 81% of GDP. What does that tell you in simpler terms? 81%. It means if the economy was at 19.7%, the debt value was hovering at about 17 billion. That is what 81% of 19.7 billion roughly is. In 2021, the debt relationship, debt here versus all goods and services or assets of our economy, moved to 118%. So in 2011, when we had change of government, the debt stood at 21% of our GDP, our sum total of goods and services and value of the national asset. By 2021, it had exponentially jumped to 118%, meaning the debt now was more than our net worth in terms of GDP, hence default. So when people say there was money, indarama shale moneka, indarama shale moneka, shakwiba. If it is not that, it was shali shama diru, mukula tree and all, not straight money in the economy, because the debt portfolio was outweighing the asset value. So how can you share what you don't have? Now let me quickly transition to talk about the debt service, because there was debt service. Debt service from 2011 to 2021 in terms of the relationship of the amount of money Zambia was paying, debt as a percentage of the GDP, the sum total of goods produced and services too, that asset portfolio. In 2011, debt repayment in terms of percentage in relation to GDP was only 11%. In 2014, 17%. In 2017, 29%. In 2019, 42%. In 2021, 59%. Now let me put it simple, because we are communicating to citizens. What this means in layman's language is that in 2011, out of every 1 kwacha that government collected through taxes or any other revenue means, only 11 ngwe in 2011 was going towards debt servicing out of that particular 1 kwacha collected by government. In 2021, out of 1 kwacha collected by government as government revenue, 1 kwacha is representative. Out of every 1 kwacha collected by government in 2021, 59 ngwe of that 1 kwacha was going towards debt servicing. Wow! 45%, meaning 45 ngwe of that 1 kwacha was going towards personal emoluments to pay public service workers salaries. Now when you add 59 ngwe and 45 ngwe of every 1 kwacha, you find that it is beyond a 1 kwacha. There is about 5 ngwe here or 6 ngwe extra. But government had to pay debt this side and pay its workers. So where was that 5 ngwe coming from? Debt. So from a requirement of paying only 11 ngwe out of 1 kwacha in 2011, the country was dragged to the top of a mountain in terms of borrowing, such that now out of every 1 kwacha, 59 ngwe had to go into debt servicing and 45 ngwe into personal emolument, leading to, I think about, my mathematics is correct, somewhere 105. One kwacha and, 1 kwacha, 5 ingwe. Which was more than what government was collecting. So this is it. When President HH says we found an empty treasury, there was no money because requirement to pay debt had been made to go above revenue correction capacity. It is important for us to share this information so that we move together as a nation. Let me now inform the nation on a few issues which is very critical and cardinal to do with external debt restructuring status. That Zambia has made significant progress with its debt restructuring, having achieved 90% agreement in principle with its creditors. This, therefore, translates in real terms that a total of 12.1 billion United States dollars let me get it right. It is 636.3 billion and 3.8 billion. Those two figures have been agreed upon. Let me simplify it, that with the official creditors of government, agreement has been reached in principle that 6.3 billion United States dollars be restructured, meaning staggered to begin to be paid in future, 2053. Eurobond holders, a total of 3.84 billion United States dollars, agreement has been reached. Other private creditors to the tune of 3.2 billion United States dollars is yet to be agreed upon. Therefore, the whole sum total is 12.1 billion United States dollars, as such representing the whole debt for this category. Remember, there is a local debt. So this represents 90.85% of debt restructuring agreed amount, with the remaining 9.15% representing other creditors for which your President HH, and his able team of the Minister of Finance, Secretary to Cabinet, and their technocrats are working round the clock to see how this can also be attended to. Now, what does this mean to Zambia? It means it is giving us financial space now to attend to our emergency developmental and investment needs, also to invest and put money in the social sector to uplift the livelihoods of our people. If debt restructuring was not arrived, the entire budget announced for 2025 would be swallowed into debt payment. So this is a milestone that, as New Dawn administration, we celebrate together with the citizens of this country, because it has allowed us now to offer free education, return meal allowances to students, increase CDF from 1.6 to now about 40 million kwacha, so that they have desks, maternity wings. I mean, you know these things. With a prudent management of national affairs today, out there is a celebrated story of cash for work. And because it has impacted positively on the citizens, the President has said he will ensure that cash for work we shall continue, even if we have a good harvest. But it shall continue until we reach full equilibrium of stability as a people. I thought that these issues are countrymen and women and the youth, and that this is just, what can I say? This is just a dose. I will be back very soon to give you statistics from 2021 to 2025 where we are, so that we can counter-check what was it, where are we going. I can just promise that we're on a good trajectory. But you know, like someone who is sick, you can't, as a doctor, administer all medicines at once. Today I just had to give you this dose. Very soon I'm calling you for another dose, so that our people understand the economy, where we found it, where it is, and where it is going, which is a good place. Because I know. Let me end by saying that in the next few days, at the UPND Party Secretariat, now speaking in my capacity as a party spokesperson of the UPND, we shall be unveiling a brand new looking media team of the UPND in preparation for 2026. So, wapya baisa. We will introduce that so that you media colleagues should know who is a source of information in the UPND representing a party position and not any other member of the UPND. Then you make a headline, a UPND has said this. No. The UPND will speak through designated offices that we shall unveil next week. And I think you'll be excited, dear media colleagues, because when my phone is unreachable, you will now have many more people to call to get party position and wait for government position from me. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you, colleagues. The Minister said that he's going to call you again, so please reserve your questions for the next interaction that you're going to have with the Minister, unless you have a burning issue. Otherwise, we would like now to call this press briefing to close, and then we remain now with the officials for a closed door meeting. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Let me just clarify, because I know that from here, Emmanuel Mwamba will begin to concoct lies, because he's our #1 national liar and propagandist. If there was a Africa Cup or World Cup to go and compete, propagandists would have brought the trophy using Emmanuel Mwamba, lying through the teeth like this, as if he's telling the truth. He's my friend. He knows that what I'm saying is the truth. I wanted to indicate that this new looking media team, the current media team is in place. It has not been disbanded. We are just adding more firepower. So if it were a team now, we have brought new players because of the season 2026. The team needs to be bigger. That's all. This whole team will continue, but we are bringing in new players in the game. That's all. Do you have any burning questions, dear colleagues? Because sometimes you have issues for which after this you start phoning. I'm not picking your call because I should have been in Parliament. Nothing. That's why I like you, dear colleagues from the media. Thank you for taking time to be with us here at a very short notice. And I'm performing a trip into Chipata, so tomorrow I'll be addressing a presser in Chipata. Good day. Mike, are you there? Is Mike there?
Yes.